probably been 4 years ago, maybe, or 5. Anyway, I'll do the,
Yeah, I think it's important that you can go online and kind of read up on those sections of the ordinance, just so you'll be familiar and kind of see what everybody's looking for.
I mean, we want you to do business. We don't have a problem with you doing business there. That's just unacceptable the way it looks. I mean, that's on a main street. And that's my point. I mean, we don't care if you do business there, Jerry. But looking like that, come on, man. You can't have a business downtown looking like that and be proud. I mean, grass is all over the place, lawnmowers, just stuff everywhere. I mean, just clean it up. That's all we're asking. So when are we going to start seeing some improvement?
I'm going to have the sidewalks cleared off this week.
Okay. All right. And I'm going to tell you what we're going to send people by there periodically to make sure to include fire department. We're going to start sending the fire department in there.
What's the fire department going to do?
Fire marshal. I'm telling you, Jerry, I just want the place cleaned up. I want to work with you any way I possibly can. But there are a lot of things that city can do as far as getting that place cleaned up that we haven't done. I mean, this is what I've done for years and years and years in many, many cities and dealing with this kind of stuff. I'm just asking you, man to man, professional to professional, let's clean the place up. That's all I'm asking. You need to get it cleaned up. If you want to start with the sidewalk, that's fine. But there are other things that can happen as well. And you know what a clean place, orderly place should look like. It should not look like a junkyard. It should not.
Oh yeah, and that's another thing we went to. We went to that thing about the junkyard deal. It's not a junkyard.
Actually, it is.
Actually, it's not.
Okay.
Not the way, I mean...
I wouldn't say it if I didn't know what I'm talking about.
But it's not a junkyard.
I can
we went specifically for that.
Okay.
I know your definition of it, but we went...
I'm not only talking definition. I got proof that it is a junkyard. I got evidence to show that it is being utilized as a junkyard. I'm just telling you that this is the tip of the iceberg. And I'm just asking you to work with us, clean the place up.
Anything else we need to cover?
What is your idea about the fencing thing?
What are you asking when you say
Well, you have an idea. What is your easy remedy?
Sir, I don't make assumptions, so
I
don't have an idea.
I asked for an idea. What do you think that you would approve of a fencing thing?
Well,
like
you tell me what.
Like a 20-foot back, or like across the front. Across the front. Jeffrey and I have talked about it once before about putting. You have a fence there. May I show that to you? See, we at one time talked about putting a fencing area across, like right here somewhere, and leaving like a parking lot area there. But then on the side, though, we was talking about putting the fence right here, 10 feet back from the street. That way it would kind of clean it up aesthetic-wise. So that's what we talked about before, but we talked about doing that when we talked about, making the big fence come, a privacy fence around the back part of it. But you're saying that, you're not even going to be...
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying to you is, let me see you make an effort to start cleaning the place up. Then we can talk about other things. But I don't want to talk about anything until I see some effort from you to clean the place up.
Well, that's what I was saying. If we have, because I can move every bit of this stuff, because this is parts and stuff and people's stuff that I'm working on. If this stuff back here I mean, if you say, hey, I'll tell you what, I'll consider if zoning this part, you know, back here commercial, if you'll, build a fence around it, then I'll put the fence up, like I say. And then, you know, I mean, if you see something happening like that, and you approve of the fence, so that we get together, we put the fence back here, I'll move this stuff back here, we'll put the same privacy fence up here, and it can look like, you know, over there at that scrap metal place. I mean, I think that looks appealing to you. The big
Yeah.
green fence, you know.
I don't.
What do you think you want?
If I may.
Yes.
What you're looking at here is, this is commercially zoned. Okay, these are all gonna be residentially
Mhm.
zoned. We do have, an ordinance that talks about outdoor storage, okay? And that is prohibited even on the commercial, okay? That's one of your violations there.
Okay.
And we're gonna screen it, if you want to have it, but we're considering it is outdoor storage. On the other properties, being on residential, like the chief said, we wouldn't be able to rezone it to commercial, and therefore putting a fence around there and creating more outdoor storage.
Well, it's not really
Would not be.
creating more, we're just gonna be moving that stuff back there, and it'll have the fence, I mean, it'll be complete blocked off from the view. It's not like the scrapyard, but I'm curious, you don't think that nice green fence around that place is appealing? I mean, or better?
I have to go look at it again, but
Okay.
from what I recall, no, it's not.
Well, the difference in that place is, it is set on a hill. You know, my place is all flat, I mean, you're actually not gonna see through it. I mean, it's gonna be clean, you know, and sharp looking versus, you know, it's over here somewhere. But when you're going up the hill or down from the light, I mean, that fence needs to be 100 feet tall before you can see over, you know.
But the thing is still get back to what the ordinance says, and that's why I wanted you to be clear on
I'm
what the
glad you
ordinance
said
is
that.
saying, is that anything stored there, whether it's residential or commercial, it has to be inside the confines of a building.
Okay, I'm glad you said that
And that's,
now, because.
that's straight across the board.
Because, specifically, we went to court on that. I would like for you to read that. I do have a permit for outdoor storage there, approved by the city council. And I'm sure you don't know that one,
I
but
wasn't
yes,
aware of that.
it is there. That's exactly why this stuff is here,
Okay.
because I do have a permit for it.
On
This
this
stuff,
parcel.
yes,
Okay.
on all of it. This stuff is sitting here
Mhm.
completely legal, right now. I'm offering to move it for you. It don't have to be moved.
Yes, it does.
No, it don't.
I know the permit, the
Do you know the one that I'm talking about?
We've adopted new rules since then that say you can't store anything in front of the building or 10 foot from the sidewalk. It has nothing to do, just explain with that permit.
Okay, that's fine, This is grandfathered in,
I
but,
don't know. Some of it is, but not the outdoor storage requirements. They don't grandfather those.
okay, is this gonna be commercial zone?
I mean, you can pull a permit for a fence today. We don't have to advise you, or other than just a regulation. I can't stop you. Can't think it off. It would be advisable for you to talk to us and see where you're gonna put it.
Commercial zone? What is that?
No, that's all it's on. So the rest of this is all residential, which is, this is a violation of having a single item stored outside that 307 4th Street actually.
Yeah. That's what I explained, but the ordinance states that any outdoor storage like that is a violation, and that it is required to be within the confines of the building. And that would apply to these areas where the permit was not granted, you know. So that's gonna be those other properties.
Can I make one request for everybody? The judge was here when we did all that. Can you guys talk with him?
I'm sorry?
Curly, yeah, and you as well.
Mhm.
Because, there's a couple things I'm really interested in specific on. And that is gonna be the reason that they let the animals stay, and the reason of the outdoor storage. Because that is a specific thing, and, I mean, it is. I'm not trying to get away with anything. That is the court's finding.
We can go back to the court records and confirm it.
If you don't mind. I mean, you know,
Yeah, I don't mind either.
yeah, because, I mean, it's gonna save, I mean, we already been there. know.
Was this when, I wasn't here when all that took place, was this something that was taking place in municipal court, or was this something that was,
No, it was here.
it was in municipal court? On the outdoor storage and on the animals?
Yeah.
What year was that, do you remember?
But, it had to be Warren Oakley's here. So, I would say 5 years ago. 5 years ago, what do you think?
No, Jerry, it was in the mid-2000s.
Or was it 10 years ago? Time goes by. I tell you what, if you guys just hold your breath for about 5 years, I'll retire and we'll just clean the whole place up and get rid of it. How's that?
No, sir.
Too bad.
Okay.
If I just retire now, then we'll just close it all down.
Do what now?
Retire now and close it all down. That way it'll save the city some money.
If that's your choice.
But anyway, that I would like to do. But you got the no to that. I'm curious of the animal thing, and I'm curious of the outdoor storage because we do have a specific. I mean, that stuff is not there by accident. It's there for a reason. And it's just like the other day when I told you about right here when I mowed those lots, and I told you, did you hear me tell you that I mowed all the way out here? All right.
On the
I did that
edge
for
of the
a reason.
road.
This is not my property. Okay. Outside the fence is not mine. Outside the fence, you made a claim the other day right here on the corner. You said something about the fence. I mowed that for you. That's not my property
How is that not your property?
because I don't pay taxes all the way to the street. My property line's on the inside. All of this 10-foot stuff that you're talking about, that's your guys' property, except for here. This is the state.
But the property owners are responsible all the
They're
way up to the curb.
responsible, But that's not their property. And they're not responsible for it, and it's not theirs. That's the city property, that's the city easement.
But you're still responsible for maintaining that property up to the edge of the curb.
Yes, Jerry, that's the.
That's how the law reads, but that is not how it works.
Well, I'd be careful, because if we had to go mow it, Public Works and confiscate everything in that right of way.
That's right.
There's nothing in the right of way.
Everything, how those mowers are.
No, right here, on the outside of
Well, I'm
the
just
street.
saying.
No, we're not talking about here. We're not talking about here. No, we're just talking about this mowing thing. And I just mowed it, just because. Because we've been here on that one thing about the mowing out there 10 feet from the street. We went to the city for that. I told Warren Oakley at that time, I've not mowed that until I mowed that for you the other day, for 10 years. It's not mine. And over here on the corner, you asked for that, I did that. It's not mine. Now, all the way down the street, down here that owns the estate, that's not mine. Now, just what he said is probably true. Well, no, it is true. These 10 feet lawnmower things, he could move those things if he come and said, hey, if you don't move them, I am. He can do that. And I know that. But that it's not mine to mow. And then your thing about that mowing 10 feet from the street, what if everybody in the city moved, knew that? Some people wouldn't mow that stuff. I've not said anything about it. But I did that for you the other day. So, just to tell you. And I have not mowed. And if it's been 10 years, like he said, since Warren Oakley was here, that's when I stopped mowing it. And I told Warren that I would. And I told Warren I'd pack this shit 10 feet from the street if he kept on trying to say something about that outdoor storage thing because I knew it was right. So we put it 10 feet from the street for Warren. And I stopped mowing this right here for 10 years for Warren. I don't want to be a dumbass, and I don't want to be like, like you say, the world's most sorriest lawnmower shop business guy.
I didn't say you
But-
did that, Jerry. I just said this is the biggest and the junkiest.
I know.
That's what I
I
said.
know. And her first claim to fame was come to my store the first week and make a video.
No, actually, your
It's
store
not about-
wasn't. It's not about any of that.
Well, you were there. And I asked for the video. You didn't even bring it to me.
I don't even have a copy of the
Oh,
video.
really? Did you ever make it? Did it get made?
It got made, but I don't even have a copy of it.
Okay. But anyway, I don't mind working with you. Everybody's here is new. I've been there 20 years, and then I was down by the gym that flooded for 10 years. And the reason I'm here is because over at the gym.
Yeah, I know, I understand. I know the
You know
history.
some of the story.
Yeah,
Okay.
I know practically the entire story. I've
Okay.
done a lot of research.
Okay, good.
I'm very familiar. But what you can and cannot do, I'm familiar with the old ordinances, I'm familiar with what the city has granted you to do, and I know some of that stuff is played out.
Okay.
And so we're here today, and you're saying that you're clean, you mowed these things for her. Now what I'm asking you to do for me is clean that place up.
Okay.
And then we will be good, you know. And you can also, if you decide you want to retire today and clean it up tomorrow, I'm good with that too. Whatever you decide, and we don't mind working with you and compromising in some shape, form, or fashion, but we need to see some effort first. And then we can come back in this room and talk more. And we don't have to go through all of that court stuff. It'll save you time and money, and it'll save the city time and money. And that's what it's really supposed to be about, is when there's conflict, the parties come together in the same room and discuss whatever we need to discuss, and that's kind of where we are.
Patsy, you got anything?
Just to get him some of the copies of the zoning.
Would you like those copies of all of the ordinances that are
Yeah,
mentioned in?
specific, I mean, 'cause, you know, all you did this time, which, you know, is new, is you just listed, you know, every piece of property by address. You know, they've never done that like that before. You know, I mean, you know, the way it reads, you know, that you're saying that these over here are gonna have junk lawnmowers on them, and you know they're not, but, you know what I mean? They just, you listed all of my pieces of property and then listed the violations and everything, so.
When you go to start your fence, holler at me, I'll help you establish where your setbacks.
Well, you know, and that's
That
what
way
we're
you
saying, I
don't-
mean, to make the fence thing and to do all that thing, you know, I mean, we need to know about if we can, I mean, do you wanna compromise at all on anything
I think I
on
said
the
that,
zone?
Jerry. I just need to see some effort first.
Are you interested whatsoever on compromising on rezoning?
No.
See, and that's what I'm saying, I mean, that's gonna give us the space we need, but, you know, the business is growing.
No, I'm not.
Palestine is so good that the business is growing, we need more space. What one thing, you had that big thing that actually showed us, what one specific problem would rezoning one more lot cause?
It's residential.
If we made, well, this was residential when I came. They rezoned, the shop was 2 lots, does it show 2, 1, 2? Yeah, they rezoned this, it was a commercial one, I mean, it was residential when I came. Because they knew that it was that big.
But look what happened when they rezoned it. See all that junk?
Let's put a, let's.
So if we
you
rezone
decide.
that, more junk.
No, not really, not really.
History repeats itself. If you got junk here, you started the junk here, and then you're gonna put more junk there.
Well, and two, Jerry, what happens when we do that? These people,
But you
in
need to
these
have a
homes,
nice
they
fence
have-
that you guys approve of.
well, that's beside the point. This is real estate. These are people's investments. They
This-
hope to get a return on it later when they resell. It's very hard to do when commercial starts moving up next to them. Very hard. It lessens the value of their property. They don't want that. And we can't do that to them.
Jerry, we got notified by within 200 feet. You know, you get opposition.
Oh, really?
Talking to you.
Okay, I didn't know how that worked.
Yeah. But that's why there are zoning laws and stuff, is to protect people's investments.
Okay, so I didn't know all that.
I mean, the simplest thing to do is just clean it. And then there's no issue anywhere with anybody. With us, your neighbors, there's no issues, period. I mean, that's the simplest thing to do, is just clean it up.
Well, but the problem, you know, just like you say, the problem, you know, half of that stuff is, well, more than half of it is, you know, customer stuff being worked on. And, you know, I mean, what happens when you're,
You got lawnmowers out there that have been moved for 20 years.
actually not, that stuff is right here.
I bet you I can go in here and find something that hasn't been moved out of that spot in 10 years, 10, 15 years.
Probably not.
I'm almost sure I can. I'm almost sure I can go right in there somewhere and find something that has been moved for 15, 20 years.
something,
I'm talking about a lawnmower or
well,
something.
not right here, you'll find that here.
I bet
That's
you I
what
can
it was
find-
there.
Okay. I'm moving that
There
gonna
was
be there.
nothing here when I came, and I've only been there 20 years.
Okay,
In
and I
the
can
first
find,
5 years, nothing was put there.
I guarantee you, since you parked there, I can find a piece of equipment that's been there for that long.
Could I have a copy of one of these?
That was,
I'll do that, right away thing,
Yes, sir.
and I'll come and talk with you.
Thank you very much.
All right. Oh, is that all of these things?
we'll get copies of the zoning stuff and everything for you, so that way you'll have that as well, and get some of the other city ordinances. I've only got a few
But
of
like I
those
say, I have
in there.
nothing against you, it's just, you know, I've never had anyone in my life never call me back in 5 days.
Well, that's why I
Ever.
told you that,
Ever.
that's what I explained to you. I was in school, and I also was working over there with the flooding.
Okay.
Mark, can you
So,
walk him?
But
that's
like
what
I say,
I
I don't
explained
mind
to you.
talking to you, and it probably wouldn't go that far, but yeah, talk to me.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll let you do.
Yeah.